So quick little video to go over the warm-up, the strength, as well as the Metcon, points of performance for what we're going to need in all those areas. Monday, March 23rd, starting off, it is a shoulder session today. So we're going to strict press with a dumbbell or a kettlebell overhead. We may add some resistance to it with a resistance band. We'll go over how to set that up. And then our conditioning piece, or our cash out, is going to be a 10-minute EMOM. 10 burpees, up to 13 burpees per minute, every minute for 10 minutes. Then the cash out is going to be 3 sets of 60 plank shoulder taps. We'll go over points of performance for that. So our warm-up is going to be 3 rounds of 20 banded RDLs. Band goes over the shoulders. We step in, quarter squat position, hinge at the hips, shoulders square to the ground. Down and up. You don't have a band at home, you can also do it with a light kettlebell, dumbbell, something of that nature, just something to load in the front. So super light kettlebell, quarter squat position, hinge at the hips, feel those hamstrings engage, and then back up 20 times. Next up is going to be our plank shoulder taps for a warm-up. So I'll face the camera, come down to that nice solid plank position, tap, 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 tap. Really want to engage the midline here, okay? So I don't want to see our butt going back like in a downward dog position. Next up is our banded pull-aparts. So 20 banded pull-aparts, elbows locked out, band comes straight across the chest. If you don't have a band, no problem. We'll go ahead and come down, plank position, drop those shoulders to the ground for 20 scap pull-ups. Push-ups. We're going to finish out our warm-up with 10 overhead walking lunges, so 5 on each side. It'll be 3 rounds of that to get started for the warm-up. Next up, it's going to be our dumbbell or kettlebell strict press. Couple of different ways to add resistance to this. If you have just a single kettlebell or a single dumbbell and it's a little bit too light for our sets of 8, so it's a 4x8 today, so 4 sets of 8 repetitions. A couple of things we can do to increase that. Right off the bat, belly button tight, rib cage down, press overhead. Elbow behind the ear, full extension, and then back down. If we have a band at home, I recommend that highly for adding some increased resistance. Just a half hitch around the handle. We're going to step in the band. Come up into that front rack position, the same thing. Strict press. Up. So make sure the band is behind your elbow. You can tell that extra resistance makes a huge difference. That kettlebell alone is 17 pounds, which I'm not sure how many times I can press it, but it's significantly more than 8. Adding that band requires me to really engage my midline. If you don't have a band at home, we can modify that to make it more difficult with a seated press. So down in that seated position, belly button tight, rib cages down. The most important thing that we want to pay attention to when we're going overhead with a dumbbell or a kettlebell is that we're not pushing ourselves away from it. Okay? So we want to go really tight in that midline. Again, ad nauseum, belly button tight, rib cage down, straight press. So we're going to push our body into the dumbbell or kettlebell as opposed to pushing our body away. For our burpee EMOM, just regular old burpees, every minute on the minute for 10 minutes. RX is 10 burpees, RX plus is 13, okay? So holding that consistency every minute on the minute for 10 minutes. Our cash out, 3 sets of 60 plank shoulder taps. So points performance there. Holding that good solid plank position, so that means shoulders in line with our hips. We don't want to see this. No down dog position here. So shoulders in line with our hips, engage that midline. If you feel your hips starting to track up, that's time to rest, okay? We need to make sure we're holding the plank the entire time. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and we'll see you on the leaderboard. Make sure you get registered for our 30 days of fitness.